He said that the U.S. government is in the process of processing the licenses, but NVIDIA hasn't received them yet. And in terms of Chinese companies' orders, he did not provide that much detail, making it sound like he was quite busy. But maybe his team had gotten orders from some companies, potentially Tencent. So Jensen's really here trying to be a business person. It's a huge market for the company. There's billions and billions of dollars that the company could make here, and they've talked about how much their company has lost because they have not been able to sell into China. And so, he was really complimentary of a lot of the Chinese AI models, and also Xiaomi. He met with the Xiaomi CEO Lei Jun and really said he even wants to buy one of the Xiaomi electric cars, as Xiaomi uses the NVIDIA Thor chips for some of its vehicles. So all of this, Jensen is here in China and trying to distance himself from the politics, saying that his understanding is the NVIDIA chips and the Chinese control over rare earths is part of the exchange between U.S. and China, but he doesn't know exactly what is going on at that high level between the U.S. and China. So he's just trying to make sure his company can stay competitive in this entire global AI race. Let's have a listen to what he said about the investing plans for China.
If you want to maintain, you have to invest. The market is moving so fast and it's so competitive. And, none of my competitors are maintaining. They're all investing so that they could be a world leader. And so we have to continue to advance ourselves and every single day improve so that we could deserve the businesses that we have.
So Jensen Huang's really emphasized a lot of the competition in China, especially Huawei. And in the same breath, he talked about Huawei being a formidable competitor and also how nobody should be underestimating China's manufacturing capabilities, and that's something Huawei, from building its own chip and entire cloud system. Jensen Huang pointed out that Huawei can actually go to market directly because it has this entire infrastructure. And my understanding is too that Huawei has been sending people to mines, to the electric car industry, to many of these really vertical and potentially dry areas of AI application, and developing AI simultaneously with the industry. So that's a huge edge of competition in terms of how AI actually makes money. And Jensen Huang seems like he has his eye on this because he said that the RTX Pro, which is also coming to China, the big focus there is going to be on factories and manufacturing. So while there's lots of excitement about NVIDIA becoming this $4 trillion company, there are more and more questions about what does it mean in terms of AI's usefulness, and that's something that Jensen said he's watching.
Among the AI stocks that investors are keeping a careful eye on is NVIDIA. Rajvindra Gill, a Needham analyst, increased the stock's price target from 160 to 200. The company has given the shares a buy recommendation. The price target increase comes after the U.S. government promised to provide export licenses so the company could start selling its H20 chips again. Analysts pointed out that export restrictions had previously applied to the H20 chips. In the first quarter of fiscal 2026, NVIDIA was unable to send $2.5 billion worth of products to China because of the limitations. Additionally, $8 billion in H20 orders that were scheduled to delivery in the second quarter of fiscal 2026 had to be paused. The business has not yet disclosed the potential income that the H20 chips could generate in the upcoming quarters. Analysts pointed out that they model $3 billion in H20 exports every quarter, which is cautious. Over the following few quarters, this begins in the third quarter of fiscal 2026 October. Additionally, the analysts said that NVIDIA might be creating Blackwell GPU variations for the B30, B40 RTX 6000D market in China. Shipments of these are expected to start in August or September. Among the trending AI stocks in focus this week is NVIDIA. Vijay Rakesh, a Mizuho analyst, increased the stock's price objective from $185 to $192 on July 15th, while keeping his outperform rating. Following Trump's declaration that NVIDIA might start shipping AI GPUs to China, the rating was confirmed. As part of continuing trade talks, the company emphasized the U.S. administration's announcement that NVIDIA and other AI accelerator suppliers would start shipping AI GPUs again. The corporation emphasized that this is a significant victory for the business. NVIDIA had previously projected that shipment constraints would have a $8 billion revenue effect in the July quarter. The business will also profit from an impending Blackwell initiative that aims to satisfy U.S. standards for shipping to China later this year. So, what implications does this have for NVIDIA's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication, so if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on NVIDIA stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now, let's get back to the video. According to Mizuho, Chinese consumers are already requesting licenses to obtain the H20 chips as a result of these legal changes. Tencent and ByteDance are two examples. According to the information on Saturday, NVIDIA has informed its Chinese clients that its supply of H20 chips, the most potent AI processor it was permitted to ship to China due to U.S. export limitations, is restricted. Although the policy change requires the U.S. to still authorize licenses for the export of the chips, NVIDIA announced this week that it plans to restart selling the H20 processors to China. According to a story in tech publication, The Information, which cited two people with knowledge of the situation, NVIDIA was obliged to cancel manufacturing capacity it had reserved at chipmaker TSMC and void client orders due to the U.S. government's April ban on sales of the H20 processors. According to the report, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang stated at a media presentation in Beijing this week that TSMC has moved its H20 production lines to make other chips for other clients, and that it might take 9 months to manufacture new chips from scratch. Without providing any information or references, the story also stated that NVIDIA had no plans to resume production. Regarding the report, NVIDIA chose not to respond. Reuters was unable to confirm the report right away. Hong recently stated that NVIDIA would increase its supply of H20 processors and that licenses for purchases from China would be granted quickly. Additionally, NVIDIA has revealed that it is creating the RTX Pro GPU, a new chip that would comply with U.S. export regulations for Chinese customers. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Ev, this new chip, the RTX Pro, which is supposed to launch in, I think, September, right? Is this the same thing as the budget sort of no frills without the bells and whistle chip that we were talking about a couple of days ago? And if it is, and if it's focused on manufacturing in China, this addresses robotics as well, does it not? Not so much humanoid robots, but because, I mean, China probably has the largest installed base of robotics in manufacturing right now.
Right, so it sounds like this chip can support sort of virtual environments where they could train or potentially even deploy some of this automation. And Jensen himself was very excited about the potential of AI for robotics. So he's seeing how AI is really being applied in many aspects of China's economy. He mentioned a lot of the Chinese internet apps during his opening speech, and he talked about a lot of other applications, even from DeepSeek's open source model, which he said nearly 99% of companies and countries around the world are actually downloading locally and using it for things like healthcare and imaging. So it's not necessarily all the AI that's living on closed systems in the cloud like ChatGPT currently is. So we'll have to see, again, the big question, I think, is how is AI actually turned into something that matters for business instead of just all this training? And it seems like, from Jensen's perspective, the industry is really shifting from this period of, okay, how are the models performing, how smart they are, but actually to how can they be applied, how useful they are, and China potentially has a big opportunity to play there. So Jensen doesn't want to miss out as a company. He's been telling the U.S. government that we can't miss out on this as a country. And if you read the latest edition of the China Connection newsletter, we talk about how foreign investors are really excited and looking for opportunities in China's AI market.